Yes, hello everyone. Welcome to live on YouTube and Twitch. I hope you're all doing all right. I just thought, you know what, let's jump in the studio and we'll do everything that's been happening the past week. Break it down with the stories. We have a couple of clips coming up as well. We are live, so anything can happen. I've had a few technical issues already this evening as well, so hopefully I've fixed those gremlins. But here we are, everyone. We are live. I hope you're all doing well. If you're watching the rerun, stay with us because we've got plenty to rattle through. You may have seen the title. From shirt leaks to Richard Masters to safe standing, you name it. We've got a lot to talk about the last 7 days or so with the tune. But I wanted it's not going to be in any precise order how we're going to do it. It's literally just a little bit all over the place, a little bit random. I haven't gone by day or anything like that. But I do want to touch upon a bit of success because you may have seen me down Birmingham a couple of days ago when NUFC women lifted the trophy. If you haven't seen that video, can watch it, man. The girls need your support, but take a look at this. How fantastic is that? So we've got the first team flying, going for the title against Drumcestra. I've got the development side already picked up the trophy in another final and going for the league they're on in their first year, which is quite incredible. So congratulations to the development side, which is absolutely fantastic to see. Well, you nearly got it right. It's Lee, but there we go. You corrected yourself. Hello, ADB0471. I hope you're doing well. McTominay, he is mentioned tonight. We'll be talking about Scott McTominay as well. Cope Music, one of our members, I said, I hope that's not our top. We are talking about that third green kit / away kit. That could be, it's probably the most genuine that I've seen so far out of the kits. There'll be more to come, you know, it will. So, yeah. Welcome everybody. It's good to see more of the numbers popping up as well. Drop us a like on the video. That'll be absolutely wonderful. And hi, welcome. That was the first clip. So that was a bit of positive. Now, do you want to get the negative out of the way? Shall we do that? Because you might have seen it today. Richard Masters has been questioned by members of the Parliament, and Newcastle United's name, of course, was mentioned. Take a look at this.
You're probably aware of the legal case that's taking place in America between the PGA and Live Golf, and the involvement of the Saudi Public Investment Fund. You've been given assurances that the Saudi government doesn't have any direct control over Newcastle United Football Club by Amanda Staveley, but in a statement, in an interview that I saw on Twitter, she says that PIF is an autonomous, commercially driven investment fund. But in the submissions in the court case, that the Public Investment Fund is claiming it is a government body, and therefore has sovereign immunity and cannot be called to give evidence or submit evidence in the litigation. Is that going to prompt you to revisit the Newcastle United Football Club arrangements?
I'm afraid I'm going to frustrate you, Clive, because I can't really comment on it. I mean, even to the point of saying, is the Premier League investigating it? We can't really comment on it. Obviously, we are completely aware, and you're correct about the general nature of the undertakings that we received at the point of takeover. But I can't really go into it at all. The only time when the Premier League comments publicly on regulatory issues is when it's charged, and at the end of the process, when an independent panel has decided whether any rule breaches have actually taken place. And the investigatory process we don't talk about at all.
No comment once again. We've heard that before, haven't we? So, as you all know, there's obviously a court case going over in the US of A regarding Live Golf trying to break away from the PGA and obviously stealing players to go and play effectively like a Super League if it was a football terminology. And obviously Newcastle United's name has been mentioned that our owners have no split from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So we'll see how that plays out. But that's not the first time that we'll hear of it. I'm sure we're going to hear plenty more of that story. But look, you're going to have to get used to it. It comes with the territory, I think. You know what I mean? So L Statement says, what did this MP's question have to do with the independent regulator issue? So obviously that was a different topic. I think with the regulator coming in, they want to take control of future takeovers, not the Premier League. So they'll examine, are you fit for purpose, basically. So that's what that was about as well. Jane Atlanta, hello lads. These live comments from PIF will be trouble. People look for any reason to cause this trouble. We are going to have it, and I think it comes with the territory of being a Toon fan at the minute, unfortunately. And it'll come, and we'll have it a little bit more. We're just got to get used to it. I think we're just going to have to. I think Man United will if they get bought out by the Qataris. So comes with the territory. It does. So a little bit of negativity there, and we'll hear more about this. But we'll get on with all the picture displays next. And I want us to talk to you about this a little bit more, which is safe standing, which is coming. Now, it's very, very, well, in fact, it's practically where I am. Where I sit at St. James's Park, just on the right of that circle where the line is, that's probably where I sit. In fact, it is. I used to sit a little bit higher up into the corner where everybody stands anyway. So it's obviously the most easiest place to have safe standing because a lot of people already do. So there'll be rails put in place with a seat behind it. A bit like if anyone's been to Manchester City away, it's exactly the same. Or Liverpool have done it as well at Anfield. So this is where it's going to be. Will it enhance the atmosphere? I don't know. I'm kind of 50-50 on it. I think it's as you were, because that's where the noise comes from anyways. 80% the time of the ground, that's where the noise starts from, or that's where it comes from, or the Gallagher. Sometimes you might hear the opposite end of the ground, but we can't really hear it. That's why we can't hear away fans as much. But obviously safe standing is going to be where the away section is as well. But again, away fans always stand up. You know what I mean? So I think it's a good thing. It's a trial because we're not one of the first clubs to bring this in. I think it's a good thing. I think it can bring, if we bring it to other parts of the ground as well, it could boost that atmosphere. If it's for atmosphere, and it's obviously has to be safe, of course it is. But in terms of atmosphere, for me, the part of the East stand and the Milburn stand and the Lees is a little bit flat for me. I have moved around during the years as well, and where I am, I like it where I am, but it could help that as well. I also do feel as well, I know I'm going off topic here, but the quicker that they bring the away fans down and next to the home fans, like down next to that, I think you'll get more. I think it's all at the top at the level 7 bound. I don't think it's quite the same. If you bring the away fans down in that corner section of the East stand will then bounce off it, and then next to the East stand you've got the safe stand / singing section. So for me, that's what I would personally do with away fans. But safety measures, what the club and the police say, council say, that's paramount, of course. How's little Ferdinand? He's here. He's lurking in the background somewhere. Do you want to see him on camera? Ferdinand, come here. I'll show you him. Say hello, everyone. He's getting a big boy now, aren't you? You're getting a big boy, aren't you? You're live to the world. Nice. So, let's have a look at what else you say. Labour, Cockney MP having a go at NUFC. Reminder local MP of his bees will cost them a seat up here. Yeah, okay. True. I think she's from the woman that, I don't know if you've seen the second clip, but the other woman was Sunderland Labour. Was questioning more about the investigation into grassroots and stuff like that. So safe standing. Yeah, please let us know what you think in the comments. Where would you put it? Are you happy with where it is? I think it's common sense where it's been put. So I'm all for it for me. More positive news. We're going to move on to the next is Alexander Isak, who was loved on this channel by some more than others, you would say. And not saying he's a bad player, of course not, but Sam adores him, and every right to, because he's just been nominated for Player of the Month. Now, if I had an applause, I would have obviously played that, but our new system will. We are moving off StreamYard. I know I will keep mentioning it, but we are moving off in the end of April, so we've got about 3 weeks left on StreamYard, and we're out of here. Alexander Isak has been nominated for Player of the Month, which is brilliant. He found out, funny enough, by Sky Sports when they pulled him for a quick interview. So that was good to see. So Obviously, Alexander Isak's gone out and say, I've had like a thigh injury. The first 6 months at the club were tough. And it took some time to come back from the injury, but still okay because I still got to play 3 games and show a bit. And then the team did so well that it took the pressure off me and I could focus on my rehab instead of thinking that the team needed me. It helped a bit, but it's clear it wasn't easy. So obviously, he went injured. He couldn't get in the team because Wilson was scoring the goals. And now it's been reversed because obviously Wilson, I don't know what's happened to Callum Wilson, but yeah, Isak looks class because he can come deep, he can go wide, he can go past players as well. Like a gazelle. I want to call him a gazelle. Do you have a name for him? If he was an animal, what would you call him? A most random one. We've got a Twitch comment in. Hello, pal. I hope you're doing all right. Hi, I'm from Spain. I'm at Atletico Madrid, but I've been a Magpie since a kid. Good to have you. Good to have you. Isak over Wilson now, says Craig as well. Lovely Scooby. Yeah, he's a little Scooby-Doo, little Ferdinand. He is. He's really well behaved. Okay, so that's Alexander Isak Player of the Month nomination, which is fantastic for the Premier League as well. Staying on strikers. It's not technically a Newcastle story, but it's related to Newcastle a lot. Joselu. Yeah, I say that, I whisper that because what has happened to Joselu? It's a curse of letting your strikers go. Joselu seems to be banging in goals left, right, and centre. Ivan Toney, which I did say on this channel many years back when we first started, you should not get rid of him, banging the goals in. Mitrovic at times was banging the goals in, especially the Championship. But it'd still be a handful even if we had him off the bench. But is it a curse? Because Joselu scored 2 on his Spanish debut, and he come off the bench as well, which is just mental. I mean, it's like you talk about players reborn at Newcastle, and you think of Joe Linton and maybe Almiron to some extent, but players have been reborn since leaving. Is there a bigger turnaround than Joselu? Because he's just gone up. So since leaving, and remember, he's not playing for top clubs. He's playing for teams that would be at the bottom of the league. Double figures in every season, which is incredible. 14. These are just La Liga stats, by the way. He's got 12 so far this season. Debut for Spain, scores 2 off the bench. I mean, what is going on with Joselu? I was winding the lads up in the WhatsApp earlier on. And I was saying, if I give you a striker to be backup who's hit double figures in the second best league in the world, would you take him? Not many people replied, but I think Sam did. But yeah, that probably knew because I was going to wind them up. But Joselu, fuck you know. What has happened? Yeah, great shout, Thomas. And yeah, he was not represented very well when Dalglish had him. It's Newcastle. He went on to do great stuff, especially Milan, and obviously Feyenoord as well. Marcus Thuram, rumours. Yeah, there is rumours going around of him. We're not covering that today. We've got the McTominay rumour to talk about, but as you know, we don't really do rumours as much as other channels on YouTube because it's a load of bullshit. To be honest, it's easy views. We didn't like that. But we'll move on to the next story, which I wanted to bring on. Now, when I see this lad, I think, fuck me, he's got a lot of talent. But there's a lot of debate on Twitter what you should do with him. Garang Kuol. He scored his first goal for Austria. So congratulations to the young lad. He's only 18. And he's on loan at Hearts. And I just wanted to pull up some of his stats so far. And this is just in the Scottish Premier League, as Ferdinand knocks him flying. I don't know what he has. But these are his stats so far in the Scottish Premier League. So he's only 18. 5 caps, just scored his first goal. Being played as a support striker, sometimes on the right wing, occasionally as a striker. Just the 1 start. 6 of the times he's been subbed on. 2 not used. 1 of them was an injury. No assists, no goals as of yet. And the Scottish Premier League is ranked by UEFA. And this is just Europe leagues, the 9th best in Europe officially. So is he getting enough game time? He's getting games. So because obviously he moved in January, but is he getting enough game time? That's the question. But he's in a fairly good standard league. It's an all right league. I know I criticise the Scottish league, but you could be in a lot worse leagues. And his Hearts are 3rd in the league last time I checked. So he just needs more minutes. But the thing is that he's learning as well is the positive that he's playing with first teamers and learning about like the environment of being a professional side, a lot more professional than being in Australia. He's now in the Scottish Premier League. And he's got a couple of Australian pals who are in the national team with him, but he'll obviously be learning you know, how to, like, simple things like when you eat together and, you know, like when you socialize. He's a young man, you know what I mean? He's learning. He's only 2 hours up the road. But is he playing enough football? That's the question I want you to throw back at yous. If you're watching the rerun, if you're watching this live, is he playing enough? For me, I wouldn't recall him, because what's the point? You just play for the under-21s. And is that better for his development right now? Not for me. Not for me. I think playing for the Scottish Premier League for Hearts for the rest of the season is just leave him as it is for me at the minute. But I would like to see him have more minutes, and then, you know, review that come the summer and let him train with the first team, because obviously the club are expected to go to the US of A, which I'll be going there. So I might say, this man, Jay in Atlanta, if you're coming over for a road trip, imagine a backup striker with double figures. Yes, please, is Jay in Atlanta. So, yeah, with Kuol, it's an interesting one. But is he playing his right position, right winger? Should he be used up top as well? That's a debate. Where do you play him? But Kuol didn't play regular football in Australia. Yeah, it's a very good point. It's a very good point. So he needs to calm. I can't even say that now. And develop, in my opinion, as well. I totally agree. I totally agree with that as well. Kuol is apparently hitting the weights to more strength than game in England. Early days still, yeah. And Keegan, obviously, over on Twitch as well, says hello Keegan, hope you're doing all right. So yeah, Kuol, again, these are debates that I want to see in the replies and everything. So it's interesting to see what you all think on this. The next one I wanted to move on. The next little story is this rumor that we're getting a new talent scout, because I've seen it on Twitter that we're being rumored with Southampton's talent scout. But Fabrizio Romano, who's been on our channel before, has come out with this one. Newcastle are in advanced talks to appoint Manchester United's head of young recruitment, David Harrison, as the new head of emerging talent. Harrison will work for the first team and will oversee academy signings worldwide. So is this just a case where the two are looking at just having a better scouting network? We're seeing them advertised, and it could still be advertised, I haven't checked, where they're looking for scouts in certain countries for professionals who have obviously been in the game. So they're looking to widen the horizon to get the next star coming through, who's a young star and whatever. But we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, we've done I'll call it an exchange with Manchester City, making a swap with one of our staff, with their staff. Paul McLaren's coming in. But are we going to get head of recruitment David Harrison? And obviously Newcastle's youth development, I'll be pretty honest with you, it's pretty poor. Let's be honest. The under-21s, I know it's not a team game, but let's be honest, they didn't win now. They're in the second division. They've been stuck in that division for years. Is there any talent? Elliot Anderson is probably the one. Matty we thought would go on and kick on, but he hasn't. Then it was Sean. Then it's a bit of a gap to Paul Dummett, wasn't it? So you want to see more kids coming through. And if you look at a lot of, I'll rephrase that. Probably half of the first 11 that normally probably feature for the 21s aren't even Geordies. So they're being brought from other clubs. And I think that's probably, sadly, the way that we're going to have to go. But it needs money ploughed into that. We know that we need investment in facilities and so on, which will happen. It will happen. Keegan goes on to say, I think it would be a good recruitment cause. Let's face it, our youth compartment was terrible for decades and needs to overhaul. Totally agree, 100%. So we'll see on that one whether that happens with that as well. Right, okay. And speaking of this one, Amazon documentary, you might have seen this. This is not a massive surprise, to be honest with you. It's been rumored that it's going to happen, and of course, I don't think it's going to be called All or Nothing, and I don't think it's as long as the other ones, like the Arsenal ones and what have you. But I've seen them around St James's Park, in taking shots of the crowd. I've seen them in away games. I've seen them at Manchester City. I've seen them at Nottingham Forest as well. So the filming's already going on with the team and also with fans as well. Watch this space. So keep an eye out for Amazon. But yeah, Darren Eales has been talking about that as well. So he's gone on to say about it. Look, we're excited to be offering global football fans a front row seat in this exciting time in Newcastle United history. The documentary will allow football and non-football fans across the globe into a unique and authentic insight in how a major Premier League club operates, and will take fans on the journey with us as we strive our goals on and off the pitch. Now, I heard that, I might be wrong on this, so don't take me as gospel. I think it's only going to be shown in Amazon in Western Europe. I think I might be wrong on that. I know UK, Ireland, and parts of Western Europe are. I'm not 100% certain if it's going out further, because I've seen a couple of people saying that they kind get it in the USA, which I don't know the full ins and outs of that, so I don't want to comment on that. You will probably know better than me if you live over the States and stuff as well. Our youth was so neglected, says JB. Takes years to bear fruit. Yeah. And it was reported that the documentary will be screened in the summer. What I can say is that it's happening already. That's as far as I can go and say that, because there's filming already taking place, as I say, with that. But it's probably, if I put a time scale on it, probably the end of the year, because there's a lot of footage that they're going through. And next one, then this is the only transfer rumor in this as well, because I hate transfer rumor videos. Let's be honest. Scott McTominay, and this graphic was done by our wonderful Beth. So there's a lot of comparison with McTominay, and I know he scored. He's been in red hot form for Scotland the last couple of games, but he's been compared to Sean Longstaff because they're both in the same position. They're both similar kind of. They actually look a bit like, don't they? Let's be honest, the D. And obviously, Sean Longstaff has played every game for Newcastle this season, which is quite incredible for them as substitute, yes, at the start of the season, but he starts every game, whereas McTominay is not a regular, and McTominay picks up a hell of a lot more yellow cards as well. Look, a squad player at best, but does Scott McTominay... I mean, I'm not going to doubt Eddie Howe can not improve him, because I definitely think that he can. Because you've just got to look at Fabian Schär, you've got to look at Joe Linton, you've got to look at Miguel Miron, and even some of the newer signings as well have kicked on brilliantly. Even Matty Target, when we first signed him, he was a revelation on loan. So there's plenty that he can improve, but I don't know if he can't get it in the midfield. And that's what worries me, is that if he can't get it in midfield ahead of Fred, I mean, what hope you got? Because let's face it, Fred's awful. Let's be honest. He's an average Premier League player who shouldn't be at Man United. And McTominay's got too many substitute appearances. And if you ask me the question, I would have him at best as a squad player, but I wouldn't want to go crackers over him. I wouldn't want to go and spend over 20 million on him. And I know he's British, so he's homegrown, so he ticks a green box for UEFA and whatever. And Newcastle will need squad depth, of course. We've talked about it several times on tons and tons of videos. I don't know. That rumour just won't go away, and I'm worried about it because I don't think it propels us to the next level. Whereas Eddie Howe's maybe looking at it and thinking, do you know what? My first 11 is really good. It's up there. It's right up there. But after that, it's pretty weak. Let's face it. We've only really got 13, 14 first team players, I would say, at Newcastle United. So maybe he's looking at that. And again, you think about, we should, touch wood, that we should qualify for Europe. And then obviously that's Thursday, Sunday every week, or most weeks. So you need a squad that's going to be rotated, especially if you travel like to Azerbaijan and crazy places like that. You're going to play a second string side, aren't you? Let's face it. And that's where the squad depth comes in. But I don't know. It doesn't really. Do you know what it was, though? I wasn't blown away by Matty Target. I wasn't blown away by Dan Burn. And Dan Burn's proved me wrong. It's proved a lot of fans wrong. When Dan Burn was signed on deadline day, I was like, really? I was like, is he the guy that's going to take us to the next level? Exactly, Carl. That's how I feel with Carl. Little Ferdinand wants to come up again. Do you want to come up? Come on. Come on. See there. So McTominay for me does not take us to that next level. Not for me. Not for me. We'll have a look at what he's saying in the comments whilst we... you look quality when he first came in the scene. Yeah, he did, but has he gone backwards? He scored a brace tonight. He has scored a couple against Spain, but you don't agree with it, do you? You didn't, do you? Regarding the PIF, I'm in the Sunderland West and Washington wards. I'll get all the lads to hammer the Mackham Council as emails. Fred plays for Brazil. How's he awful? Well, Fred gets ahead of Bruno Guimaraes, or did get ahead of Bruno Guimaraes. I mean, how's that? You're telling me Fred's a better player than Bruno Guimaraes? I don't know why Tito used to play him. I know Tito's left, hasn't he? I don't know why he plays him, but if Fred starts for Brazil, I don't know. There's something. The depth is just not there. But Stu's got to say Burn was quality for Brighton. He was. I didn't see enough of Brighton. And when we first, I was like, oh, really? But he proved me wrong. So maybe Scott McTominay can prove me and a lot of other Newcastle fans wrong who are doubting it. Keegan goes on to say shouldn't we look for recruitments that are at least on the same level as our starters? Yes, we need squad depth, but that doesn't come from getting players that are good as our current bank for me. And I know he plays a little bit more further advanced. Can't get James Maddison, man. Can't get him. You know, he's only got 12 months left on his deal. Leicester aren't going to qualify. I don't think Leicester will go down either, mate. I know they're only a few points. I think they will pull away. If Leicester do go down, I'll go and get Harvey Barnes. Just can't get him as well. But James Maddison, that's the one I would go. Do you know what? Because obviously he's had a bit of banter with the two lads, Wilson, Pope and Trippier. Said it on camera that he's had that banter. Go and get James Maddison this summer. Go and get him. He pulls us up. And he can play in the number 10. He can play further in a centre midfield role. He could even do a job on the right-hand side. So he's versatile as well as having quality. I would have James Maddison over James Ward-Prowse, and I have him way over Scott McTominay. But look, if he comes with a squad player, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. Right, the new kit. This might spark debate. I don't know, but we'll put it on screen for you. This is allegedly the new kit. I can definitely tell you that Castore are 100% here next season. I know that. I'm not saying I've got sources, but basically I know staff who work at Newcastle, and that's happening. I'm not going to drop any names in, but Castore are here next season. Regarding Fun in 8, I don't think so. Not that I'm aware of. I don't know on that one. But obviously this league kit has the Saudi on there. And obviously they sponsored the travel arrangements for the club to fly over to Saudi and move around Saudi with all the events that they had as well. So do you know what it reminds me of? Republic of Ireland. It just gives me island vibes. And obviously there's going to be an absolute meltdown with Ollie Holt, who absolutely bottled coming on and facing questions about Eddie Howe, because all he ever seemed to do was have a go at Eddie Howe, and he wouldn't come on the channel, or he hasn't came on. So the offer's still there, Ollie, if you want to come on. And you know, Damien Delaney, he's another one. So they're all hypocrites because they went to Qatar, so they can't really, you know, slag off our owners that went there and got paid to Qatar. And it reminds me of Ireland. I like it. I do like it, but is it going to be a second or third kit? I can see the marketing idea behind it. It matches Saudi Arabia. Newcastle are targeting Saudi Arabia, of course. They did heavily when they were out there with all the marketing campaigns and the deals that they've done with commercials. So I like it, and that's probably the nearest that I've seen with the kits. That's probably the one that's probably stood out for me and said, that's the one that probably is at the minute. But look, we'll have loads of new kit concepts and what have you coming out, leaked and what have you. But that's probably the nearest one that I've seen that could be our new one. Camouflage kit, Eddie Howe's Invincible Mags. I like it, Stu. We all have different opinions on quality. As long as Howe is happy, I'll trust him and go with it. Yeah, nice shade of green. Just a flip of the colours from our current white one as well. He's not better than Bruno, but Fred is a decent player. I think I'd rather we sign Fred than McTominay. Oh, that's a debatable one. Do you know what? I probably just agree with you. Only just. I don't think there's much in it. I think the two average Premier League players, Fred and McTominay, I really do. For Manchester United to have those two in midfield before they had Casemiro, Jesus Christ, that's nowhere near the standard of what Man United's going to be, is it? And speaking of Casemiro, he won't play this weekend, so we'll see if McTominay, now he's going to pull on the world, isn't he? 100% on Maddison, says Keegan. Lovely. The design is nice, but the colour is a bit meh. I've seen a lot worse down the years. A lot worse. And to be honest, I'll just wait. Can't say any of the Castore designs were disappointing before. I've got the training kit and the training pants with Castore. The badges and stuff have came off in the wash. So it looks like I've just got an expensive pair of thin gym pants now because they came off. crackers. The quality isn't just for me. It's just not there. It's not there. Not for me. Not for me. I want to see that change. I want to reminisce and go back to Adidas because that's the days I was a kid, and I was 8 or 9, 95, 96 season, seeing. Yeah, it just brings back loads of class memories. The last bit before I wrap up is fan engagement review. The club are not going to be changing club badge. They're not going to just go ahead and change the stadium and change the name of Newcastle United and whatever. There's been a lot, I wouldn't say a lot. There's a couple of people that have blown this up over on social media. It's not. Basically, the Premier League, the fan engagement review, I think they're called, want clubs to liaise with fans should there be a discussion about future changes. That's all it is. That's all it is. It's just involving the fan a lot more. So if Newcastle United, obviously they've already come out. Mia Dad said that they're not going to be changing stadium. He's already said that. They'll never change black and white because that'll just cause eruptions. The badge, I could see the badge being changed in the next 5 years by the owners. I think they will have to consult with the fans now. I can see that. I like the previous badge before this one. The one in the 80s. Was it the 80s? Yeah, it wasn't the 80s. I like that one with just the magpie in the middle, the circular badge. I don't like the first one though. I'm not that keen. Obviously it's ancient, isn't it? It's not a great design, but I'm not too concerned if the badge changed. I mean, look at the eruptions when Mike Ashley changed the name of St James's Park. That's something that might have to change in the near future, but that'll be at least, this has been set in by the regulators that fans have got to be asked, and obviously the Newcastle United have met fans with engagement recently as well, which is nice to see. But you might one day it might have to be called Saudi Airways St James's Park or something like that. I think you've always got to keep that St James's Park in for me because I'm that way. But I understand if it brings in 30 million a season to change the name or have a joint name or whatever. The training grounds, yeah, I'm fine with that. If it wants to be called anything sponsors, anything like that, or the youth academy, if we build obviously new youth academy, I'm fine with sponsors having that because it has no meaning. It's not the right terminology. It has no history there. Training ground for individuals who've worked there, people like Derek Wright who's retired, obviously he will, and people like that and the staff and all that. Yes, I get all that, but us as fans, we didn't say day to day. We're not there every day. But it's something that we might have to look into, and if it means that Newcastle have to because it's commercial. If you want Newcastle to compete and spend, financial fair play, £50 million on a right back, for example, we might need that sponsorship money to go and get that right back. Do you know what I mean? So Kieran Trippier's not going to be around forever. So it's food for thought. It's an interesting one, isn't it? Adidas is the real dream. To a coin of phrase says, let's have 2 magpies on it. Well, obviously you've got the horses, haven't you? Which obviously it's a mythical creature, which protects the city, and then you've got the castle, which is just literally just there next to us. Newcastle Castle, that's where we're located at. And we can still call it St James's Park anyway. Yeah, we will, but officially it won't as well. Round badges are 10 a penny now. Ours is unique. Very true, because everyone's going round, aren't they? Evening, Chris. I hope you're doing all well. Up the tune, fella. Only just tuning in, so going to rewind. I hope you're all well. I am, pal. We're having a match against them lot, loaded mag. More than that in a couple of weeks as well. So, yeah, we're having a bit of a charity game, raising money for the food bank as well. There'll be a proper announcement all about that. But since Chris has popped up there, I thought I'd just drop a bombshell in there. Only reason to change the badge is to have a new design is for more suitable for digital platforms. Norwich did a similar thing as well. Remember the Leeds one? Remember the Chiron with the Leeds one a couple of years ago? I don't mind a stadium sponsor with St James's Park at the end. I love a Saudi sponsor to rub it in. Yeah, sports washing. Our badge is the best in the league. Yeah, Lewis, member, great to see you. And look, if you want to become a member, underneath it's 99 pence. You get loads more exclusives, and we've got our Discord where you can talk with loads of other Toon fans as well. It's 99 pence out, under £1. Imagine if Nike comes in the mix. The tops, I love to say it. Yeah. And I meant on the 80s retro badge, it only has one on it. Yeah, for bad luck. Yeah. Could we be in trouble with the state ownership, BBC ownership, have Master saying something? I've replayed it already, Maurice. So if you go back to the first 5 minutes, you'll see a little clip of that as well. So yeah, my Achilles is knackered, but I'm hoping to be good enough to play for at least a bit. Let's snap him. Tony says, I prefer Nike over Adidas personally, anything apart from Castor at this point as well. Just tuned in. Great to see you. It's 10 tonight. Easy for me to say. I'm open to any sponsorship. I know it's like greed wanting money, but the way that prove football, money is the answer. Unfortunately, it is. Money makes the world go round. Do you know what I mean? Become a member of NFTV, top show, lads. Show your support in the chat as well. Yeah, if you can drop us a like as well. So we're coming towards the end of this live stream. He's snoring on the floor, so I can hear him. But yeah, we are going to wrap it up. You can drop us a like, and we have plenty of videos coming up. It's still international break. Sam and Johnny, I'm not going to tell you who, unless you remember. Then you already know. They have some potential people coming in who you'll know. That's all I'm going to say on the shows as well. So, and then obviously we've got the Man United game. That's now starting. Massive game, isn't it? Massive game. To win that pulls them back in it. But yeah, thank you very much, everyone. Sure, I seen you and we're late in the other week. Yeah, probably driving through. I don't live far from there. Oh God, that Leeds one was awful. Right, that is for me to wrap up. Drop us a like, everyone who's watching the rerun. Drop us a comment and everything we've discussed today. Scott McTominay, the Saudi kit, the fan engagement, everything else. Excuse me, I'm burping. Right. See you later, everyone. Bye.